BTS News Today. Los Angeles radiated an unusual aura that afternoon. Amidst the glitz of the entertainment world and the usual traffic of Sunset Boulevard, two figures who always managed to draw a crowd quietly slipped into an exclusive design studio in the West Hollywood area. The building is known as a secret spot often used by world-renowned designers for exclusive costume fittings. Not open to the public, and certainly not for ordinary performances. Jungkook and Jimin were seen there. No flashy escorts, no name tags. Just two figures walking side by side, their faces hidden under hoodies, moving quickly, though not quick enough to escape the camera lens of someone waiting from a distance. That afternoon sparked a massive wave of speculation among ARMY and global entertainment lovers. What were these two BTS members preparing for? Why such a secretive fitting, and why such an exclusive location? And the most burning question, what exactly is Eclipse? From the outside, the studio looked unremarkable. But behind thick walls and paparazzi-proof glass, a highly intense costume selection session was underway. A Korean-American designer, whose name remains confidential according to internal sources, was seen moving back and forth with sheets of sketches and rare fabrics not typically used in standard performances. Deep black silk, gold embroidery, holographic materials, and details resembling tiny shards of glass, almost like fragments of the moon. One corner of the room even featured a miniature solar system installation and shadow phases of the moon. Jimin appeared deeply focused while trying on one of three costumes, a long neo-futuristic coat. He stood silently in front of the mirror for several minutes, the only sounds being soft breathing and the gentle tones from a laptop used by the audiovisual team. Jungkook, not far from him, tried on a different set, brighter in color, but with a dramatic cut. There was a strange energy in the room, as if they were becoming someone else, or more precisely, becoming part of something they had never done before. Even more intriguing, a large mood board stood in the corner of the room with the words, "Eclipse. Shadows have stories too." No mention of BTS, no HYBE logo, just a large black circle with faint white handwritten scribbles. The rehearsal schedule was written in code and color symbols. This only deepened the growing mystery. Was this a music project? A short film? An experimental art performance? Some close HYBE sources gave very cautious statements when asked about this. They didn't deny Jungkook and Jimin's involvement in something called Eclipse, but refused to elaborate. "We respect the creative process of our artists who are currently exploring a certain project in its early stages," a representative said in a very formal tone. Yet, from their evasiveness, it was clear this project was anything but ordinary. 1 week passed since the West Hollywood sighting, and silence still cloaked the Eclipse whispers. Until one night, exactly at 0:01 Korea Standard Time, Jimin's private Twitter account uploaded a single photo. Pitch black, no caption, just a tiny white dot in the center. But eagle-eyed fans realized the dot wasn't random. It was part of an astronomical phenomenon, a total eclipse. 2 minutes later, Jungkook's account posted a 4-second video clip. Just the sound of wind, footsteps, and a flicker of bluish light, like moonlight. Again, no caption, but the world shook. The hashtag Eclipse with Jungkook trended globally within minutes. Forums like Weverse, Reddit, and ARMY communities on Discord exploded with wild theories. Some believed they would debut an artistic performance at next year's Venice Biennale. Others speculated this was a secret subunit set to release an experimental concept album themed around astronomy and duality. Some guessed Eclipse was a musical short film directed by a famous Korean filmmaker, coincidentally spotted leaving the same studio a day later. But no theory outshone the curiosity surrounding the personal dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook during the process. A stylist assistant who had been at the fitting described the atmosphere as deeply emotional. Jungkook just stared at Jimin during the final fitting session. There was a moment they simply looked at each other, didn't say a word, but it felt like time stopped, like they were remembering or planning something incredibly personal. That comment sparked even more speculation. Many believed that Eclipse was not just a professional project, but also personal. A symbol of transition, change, or perhaps a long-held confession. They were no longer the teenagers who debuted years ago. They were grown men, shaped by an extraordinary journey, seemingly ready to reveal their deepest selves through art. 3 weeks later, An official announcement finally arrived, but not from HYB. Instead, it came from an independent European art platform renowned for supporting collaborations between musical and visual artists. The announcement was a single sentence. Project Eclipse, starring JK and PJM. Shadows, Silence, Rebirth, coming soon. It was accompanied by the silhouette of two male figures standing within a moonlit circle. They weren't touching, yet their shadows appeared to merge on the ground. A short trailer followed the next day, showing trembling hands, hair blowing in the wind, and Jimin whispering in Korean. Darkness isn't the end, but where we find another version of ourselves. Jungkook responded in a whisper, "I'm not afraid of shadows. Not if you're there." The world held its breath. This project seemed poised not just to shake the music or art industry, but to open the deepest layers of emotional truth between two figures long known only through stages and cameras. That same week, a rehearsal video leaked. Or was it deliberately released, showing them dancing in a raw, contemporary style? No typical K-pop choreography, no fast beats or synchronized routines. Just two bodies, reaching, pulling away, returning. Like gravity and the moon, like night and dawn. What stood out most was Jimin's expression near the end of the dance. As he approached Jungkook, his eyes brimmed with tears. Jungkook gently reached out, held Jimin's neck as if to say, "We're still here." Then the screen went black, the world waited. Eclipse was no longer just a word. It had become a symbol of connection, of things unseen but deeply felt. A project that was not just visual or musical, but an emotional journey of two souls who chose to speak through shadow, not light. And when the Eclipse stage finally appeared the following month, in a dark art gallery in Berlin, for just 80 secret invitees, the world would witness something unprecedented in BTS history. An eclipse, not the disappearance of light, but the emergence of truth long hidden in the dark. 1 week before the exclusive Berlin debut of Eclipse, fan communities and international art media were in chaos. Invitations were sent personally via encrypted emails to art collectors, museum curators, experimental music critics, and figures from the indie film world. Strangely, no mainstream media outlet was granted direct access. HYB, in one statement, even clarified that this project was not part of BTS's official activities, but rather a personal endeavor that blurs the lines between performance art, music, and emotional experience. To heighten the intrigue, a few days before leaving for Berlin, Jungkook and Jimin were spotted leaving an old music instrument shop in downtown Seoul at midnight. No staff, just the two of them. Jimin carried a small wooden box, while Jungkook clutched a worn-out notebook. They walked quietly, unhurried. A fan who accidentally witnessed the moment wrote, "They didn't look like idols, just two people deeply in love with something so much bigger than themselves."